A couple more things to hit on for today, though. So with Aaron Rodgers officially joining the team, a couple players within the division, or at least one player within the division. Harbaugh of the Ravens, he gave his reaction to it a couple of days ago. He was just like, nothing but respect. I mean, Steelers, good organization. Aaron Rodgers, hell of a player. He's like, I don't have too much of a reaction. Now, you had another guy, Myles Garrett. He's over in Cleveland. They're doing their mandatory minicamp today. Here's what his reaction was. A little bit different than Harbaugh. It's a good opportunity to put him in the graveyard. And if you know anything about Myles Garrett's graveyard, he's talking about his Halloween decorations for when late October rolls around. He decorates his house, and in his front yard, he puts graveyard stones of all the quarterbacks that he sacked. So I guess Aaron Rodgers is not in his graveyard currently. Whenever the Packers have played the Browns in the past, he wasn't able to sack Rodgers. So he's trying to add him to the graveyard. Does Myles Garrett realize this isn't the flex that he thinks it is? Like this is like, bro, one, you're going to play the Steelers twice this year. And like, that's literally your first reaction. Oh, I got to get a sack on Aaron Rodgers. Add him to the graveyard. What about winning? What about just, man, going up against Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, great player. Going to try to get wins against him, man. Going to try to stack up wins against him. Because, like, what is getting a sack really doing for? Like, it's not that big a flex. You got a bunch of other big names in your so-called graveyard, but you haven't done anything in terms of actual winning as part of your career with the Cleveland Browns. So, like, what are you about? Just adding names to the graveyard, getting a sack? Like, if you got a sack against Aaron Rodgers this year, not that big of accomplishment. Shouldn't be that big of a flex. You play the Steelers twice, and you are a good player. I mean, Big Ben's in your graveyard thing or whatever, the Halloween decorations. He's a part of all that. Big Ben is. But Big Ben is 26-3-1 all time against your Cleveland Browns. So cool. Like, I'm sure Tom Brady might be there. I'm sure you've sacked Tom Brady. Joe Burrow, I actually did see a picture of it today. Joe Burrow's there. Lamar Jackson's there. What's their record against the Cleveland Browns, though? What are they doing against you and your team whenever you guys are playing in terms of stats that really matter, like winning and, you know, their touchdowns and points that they're putting up against your defense? Cool. You got a sack. Cool. Like, it's just an individual thing, though. And I get it. The more sacks that you get, the better you are with your individual stats. Like, that's going to help your team try to win. But ultimately, how much impact is it really having? What are you really doing with potentially sacking Aaron Rodgers one time this year? And again, you play the Steelers twice. They're in division, so you're going to have two opportunities to do it. You have other guys like Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, quarterbacks that you go up against in the division that are in your graveyard, and it's like, cool. Like, we expect that. You're one of the best edge rushers in the league. You should get a sack against a division opponent for how many times you play them. So I don't know. I know he's trying to say it tongue in cheek, but it's just like, that's really where your thoughts went initially when asked about Aaron Rodgers joining the Steelers. I don't know. Not the most classy of comments either, at least with like Harbaugh and the Ravens. He's just like, nothing but respect. Man, I think it'll be a good opportunity to put him in the graveyard. All right, man. All right, that's all you got to say about it? That's it? What about actually trying to get a win and trying to, I don't know. Because Aaron Rodgers, I talked about Big Ben's record. It's like, cool, you could get a sack on Big Ben. You could get a sack on Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, all that stuff. What winning is your team actually doing? Aaron Rodgers is 3-0 against the Browns in his career. 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. Only sacked once in those 3 games. So, all right. Now, I get it. Again, Myles Garrett getting a sack, that's his way of helping the Browns try to win games as like a full unit and stuff. But that begs the question, right? And this is going to be my transition to our final topic here, is like, how much impact do these edge rushers really have on the ultimate team and getting the ultimate goal and winning games and being Super Bowl contenders, all that stuff? Because I'm telling you, Myles Garrett getting $40 million for the Browns and maybe picking up his double-digit sacks throughout the course of a regular season, is that really doing the Browns any good and trying to win a championship? No. What is it about? And it's not even just in 2025. It's not only just in the here and now. It's been about quarterback over the last 20 years. Who's your quarterback? Do you have a franchise quarterback? But not only that, it's like, who's your quarterback and how are you allocating your money on your team on the offensive side of the ball? Eagles are like one of the top spenders on offense. The Chiefs are one of the top spenders on offense. The Rams are one of the top spenders on offense. They kind of worry about their defense as like second nature, or like second grade or second rate, I guess, compared to how they pay their guys on offense. And it works out for those teams because they have quarterback. They got a lot of investments, a lot of allocation towards their offense. And they got talent. They got draft picks. They got a lot of things on defense, but it's just not the money there. They draft, develop good, but they know they got the offense taken care of. And as long as the defense can be streaky, as long as the defense can play off the offensive momentum, they'll be all right. And you've seen who's been winning Super Bowls and has been going on deep playoff runs over the last however many years. It's been the Chiefs. It's been the Eagles. It's been the Rams. Very offensive-minded teams, very offensive-focused teams. And that's a complaint you could have about the Steelers and how we need to get up with the times here. But I think we've done some things this offseason. I mean, we're still going to be a highly paid defense, but in terms of the moves that we made on offense, I like where we're at. I like the chances. I like the swings that we're taking. But anyway, back to like the point at hand here. TJ Watt didn't show up to Steelers mandatory minicamp. And here's what Tomlin had to say about that. Certainly we'd like for him to be here, but not surprised. Certainly not surprised by where we are. We've expressed the desire to get the business done. He has as well, and so we'll continue to work. Mike Tomlin on why he's not surprised about TJ Watt's absence and says no when asked if there's a concern about TJ's future with the team. It's a tricky situation, man. It's tricky with Rodgers being here. Clearly, TJ Watt is going to get this deal done. There's no question. I stand by Tomlin's comments here. I'm going to second what he says. Steelers, TJ Watt, I think both want to get something done. And the future, I don't think TJ's future with the team is really up for debate. It's just weird, though, man. It's a weird situation because TJ Watt has every right to get the contracts that were shelled out to Myles Garrett and Max Crosby this offseason. At the same time, we're trying to win in 2025. And not only 2025, but whatever the course of TJ Watt's contract is going to be for the next 3 or 4 years. And it's fair to question whether or not paying TJ Watt those Myles Garrett and Max Crosby numbers helps us get there. For 2025, no question, especially now after we got Rodgers, like TJ Watt needs to be on this team. He needs to be. But after that, we don't know what the future is going to hold. And we haven't won with TJ Watt on his rookie deal, when TJ Watt was in his prime, when TJ Watt was kind of falling off at the end of last year. We haven't won a playoff game. We haven't done big winning. No matter what iteration of this Steelers team TJ Watt has been on and the impact that he has had, we haven't won a playoff game. What has been the problem with this Steelers team? Offense and quarterback. The two things that I just talked about, what you need to have straightened out as an NFL team to do big winning. Quarterback, offense. And the Steelers have been struggling with that. So, like, would it be smart to pay TJ Watt an edge rusher that $40 million, or would it be smarter to take that $40 million and pay some offensive linemen, get another receiver in here? I mean, it's a fair question to ask. It's a fair debate to have for the long term. This year, yes, TJ Watt, no question, which I think is why you just get the deal done and then you ask the questions later. Because I even think even if you pay TJ Watt this contract and he's getting Myles Garrett type of numbers, 38, 39, 40 million, you'll be able to trade him if things don't go well in 2025. It's not like he's going to be a depreciating asset to where his contract's untradeable. No other team would want to try to bring him in. I think you'd still be able to trade TJ Watt, get something in return, get that contract off the books if you think if it's starting to become a bad contract, if you're the Steelers. I think you'd still be able to move it, get some sort of draft pick. Now, I don't know what the draft pick would be because of TJ's contract. Like that's part of it. That's why some of these players like Deebo Samuel gets traded from the 49ers to the Commanders for like a 5th round pick. You're like, how does Deebo Samuel get traded for a 5th round pick? DeAndre Hopkins, middle of last season, he gets traded for a 5th round pick. Like what the hell? It's the contract. It's like where you're at the contract. Like that all plays into it too. So I think you'd at least be able to get something for TJ. It's not something that if this year goes bad, you're stuck with a bad contract. You'd have to cut him or you'd have to just keep him on the roster for it to make financial sense, but you're in this money pit with it and you're not too thrilled. You'd be able to move off it. You'd still be able to have some flexibility. The degree of flexibility is going to depend on how the season goes, really, for TJ Watt individually and with the Steelers team. Because if all goes well, TJ Watt's balling out, he returns to prime TJ form, Rodgers playing good. Like you might just want to be running it back, and that the contract might not be looking as bad. Might be looking like, okay, we made a decent deal here. TJ Watt actually lived up to it. Maybe we could get another year of him living up to it. Hopefully, age is like fine wine, but it's just a tough sell for me that $40 million a year for TJ Watt. He's 30 now, and he's going to be, 31, 32, 33, 34 throughout the course of this contract, that he's going to be getting better. It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. And when you're paying that type of money, you're expecting that guy to at least be status quo or even get better, because that's big time money. When we paid TJ Watt the contract that we did, he's 24, 25 at the time. You're expecting him to get better or stay at the same level that he's been at. And he did. To his credit, he did. I think he outplayed the contract that we gave him. And I had my concerns at the time when we gave that to him. Like TJ Watt absolutely balled out. But now he's not 24, 25 anymore. He's not in his prime like that. I think he could still be in his prime for a few more seasons, couple more seasons. But to what degree? Like, he's technically still in a portion of his prime right now where he was last season. He kind of fell off, man. It was disappointing. It wasn't the TJ Watt that you're used to. And part of that is due to what offenses and how what they could do and how they can operate in 2025. Like you could have a whole scheme. You can have a whole game plan set up to avoiding TJ Watt. You can do that. And we've seen that done before. We've seen that against good offenses and good offensive coordinators that know what they're doing. Whereas on offense, you literally control the ball. You get it. You can create plays. You can stress out the defense. You can avoid players that are getting paid buku monies on the defensive side of the ball and just scheme them out of a game. So, yeah, that's where we're at with this TJ thing. It's a bummer because it's like Rodgers just signed here. Everyone was going to complain about Rodgers if he didn't show up to these mandatory mini camps, and then you got literally our best player on the team over the course of the last however many seasons, or at least after Ben retired, and TJ Watt like not showing up, not being a part of this thing. It's a little bit of a bummer. But something's going to get done. It's not the best look, not the end of the world either, because TJ Watt, he's an all-timer. He'll be fine. But you kind of just want everyone locked in, everyone together. It don't feel great. And Tomlin has said he didn't say in these quotes, but whenever I watched his interview, he's like, "We've been here before. We know how this goes." He's not completely stressed about it. We gave TJ the contract that we did however many years ago, and we had to go through similar things, a hold in through training camp. We didn't ultimately sign TJ until like after it was definitely after the last preseason game, a couple weeks before the regular season started. And yeah, TJ played well that season and then the seasons throughout the course of that deal. It's going to happen. I think it's fair to question how he's going to age out the contract. I think it's fair to have concerns with paying him that money right now with where he's at in his career, where the age and everything and how he finished last season. But it's going to get done. It's just going to have to happen. It is what it is, at least for 2025. We got to have TJ Watt here for 2025. It is what it is. I don't think you can't. If you were going to trade him, you needed to trade him before the draft, almost like with Pickens and the complaints we have about the timing of the Pickens trade, especially with TJ Watt. If you're going to trade him, you need something to come in here right now that's going to replicate TJ Watt's production to some degree, or really help us out on offense and make it so like we'd be able to stave off some defensive lapses. We would need to have a definitive answer for that if TJ Watt's not going to be here. With Pickens not being here, we don't have a definitive answer, but we have some workarounds. We got some ways that we can make it work. But that's it for today's show. Aaron Rodgers' first day as a Steeler, and TJ Watt didn't show up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.